Hey, hello. Welcome to Above Life Channel. The purpose here is to inspire your spirit and fill you with hope. And we're going to do that by having some real conversations. And as you know, I've been through a lot of interesting experiences lately, and using my intuition and my deep connection as an empath, the feeling and sensory sensing part of me has been extraordinarily important during this journey and the last 2 months. So, for those of you who don't know, I had open heart surgery unexpectedly when I was away from home. I was actually in Massachusetts. Then I went to Maine and stayed with a friend for 3 weeks to be able to heal. My sister flew out and we rented a van and drove home. Since I've gotten home here to the main house, I've been staying here. It's like one level, so it's been helpful. And I'm 8 weeks post-surgery. I'm in cardiac rehab and doing great with that. I'm fatigued at times, but I've been able to start sessions. I started sessions last week. And so that is awesome. That is super good. And today I wanted to take some time to talk to you about, here on Above Life Channel, to talk to you about this is the first part. I'm gonna share a little bit today, I think, and then maybe I'll share more in the future, maybe next week, or I'm not sure when exactly. Might be before that, because I'm still processing the experience I had. So I'll set it up and give you a little background. Most of you know, most of you who are followers of Above Life Channel and follow me on Facebook or now TikTok. I just started a TikTok channel for Above Life Channel, so go and check that out if you're a TikTok person. I just started it this morning. I literally was like, hey, I need a TikTok channel for this. And I want to share with you what happened last night for me yesterday. And so I'm going to need some coffee for this one. Hi in the chat. This is a live stream, so nice to see you. Hey, Cammie. Hey, Hallie. Nice to see you. Oh, nice to see you. Yes, I'm finally doing sessions. Whoop, whoop. That's great, right? And catching up with my clients. I'm just catching up, by the way, from October. I'm not doing new clients yet. If you want to get in with me in next year, you're going to have to send me an email so I can put you on the wait list. And then I should get in with you. I should be able to maybe get to you in the middle of January or February. But I got a backlog, which is the good thing, but not as much as you think, but it's good. I don't even know where to begin with this. It's kind of awkward because I'm going to, like, as a person who does intuitive work and psychic work, I've worked as a medium, as you know. I could talk about this like from a professional standpoint, you know what I mean? But this is really personal. And I had a client last week, which was really helpful, who I've coached for like 4 years now, and she's psychic herself. And she had a near-death experience. And so she and I had talked about that before in our coaching sessions. And so today I want to start by telling you about my kind of breakdown or breakthrough, maybe yesterday that happened for me. So remember, it's been 8 weeks since I had that surgery, which involved me totally being in denial, thinking something was off. I wasn't sure. I was presenting with stroke-like symptoms on the left side of my body. I was with some friends, one of whom grabbed me by the arm when we were standing at the beach and said, yeah, I'm calling this. And took me to the urgent care, which I had already been there 2 days before with a migraine headache and vomiting. I thought I just had a bad headache for the whole freaking week. And turns out like I'm slurring my words and I'm presenting with some stroke-like symptoms. So we get into the urgent care. I was walking. I was still cognizant and I didn't pass out or lose consciousness or anything like that. Immediately, the doctor that saw me 2 days before saw me again and made a quick assessment and called an ambulance. And I drove an hour and like 15 minutes in the ambulance to Hyannis, which, was the Kennedy spot, right? Like I had just been there like days before when we were driving down. Yeah. And it was just weird. I was like, here I go back there. I'm right there. And I was at the Hyannis Health Center, and there were so many pieces of that I would love to share with you, like what I remember about the ambulance ride and all that. And maybe at some point I'll talk about those things individually, like when it comes up and it makes sense. But today I want to talk to you about so that was very traumatic, that experience. I'm in this ambulance and I don't even remember getting taken out of the ambulance and into the ER. I remember being slid into the CAT scan machine in the emergency room once. And then I remember them all of a sudden going, no, she needs to go back in, and putting me back in and doing another scan because it wasn't a stroke. It was a heart issue. Well, it was actually an aortic issue, which the aorta is not part of the heart. It's like the vessel thing that supports the heart, right? That helps the heart do its stuff. And it was totally shredded. And I also had an an aneurysm also. It's like shock that I was alive. Like literally they were like, oh my God, how are you conscious and talking? And like, you're alive. 85% of the cases of what's considered an aortic dissection, which is what John Ritter had, people die. They don't make it to the hospital. It just happens. It's a heart thing. And then they usually say it's a heart thing, or they died of a heart issue. And really it's technically an aortic dissection. And it usually happens to people who are like smokers or have high blood pressure, cholesterol. I don't have any of those things. And so it's like this weird phenomenon. Plus I'm younger, right? And I am going through genetic testing in February to determine if there's some kind of underlying vascular issue or connective tissue disease or something that may have contributed to this. I was also on hormone replacement therapy since March this year, which can contribute to vascular issues, heart issues, and especially connected to the aorta. So it's possible that they may have helped the situation along. I'm not sure. We won't know yet for a while. I don't know if I'll ever honestly know the answer to that, but so it was a very traumatic experience. So then my two friends, like I wasn't with my family, I was just with my friends, and one of them I'm very, very close to. And so she was an advocate for me. She really was my voice when I didn't have one. And she was my rational brain because I was not thinking. I was just like, oh, what's going to happen? And the doctor's like looking at me, and his face is like super close to my face. And I'm laying down. I'm going, can I just go to the bathroom, please? Because I had so many fluids as I was going in, they were pumping me full of all sorts of fluids and stuff like that. And I remember the person in the ambulance say something like, well, you're going to need these when you get to the ER. And I'm like, okay. And whatever, if you have to have surgery or anything, you're going to need these. This will benefit you. And I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, whatever, dude, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. Right? The next day I'm flying home. It's no big deal. I just want to feel better. And I get there and I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. And they wouldn't even let me get up to go to the bathroom. I was like so annoyed. I'm like, what? I'm like, come on. And they're like giving me a bedpan going, go ahead. I'm like, I'm not laying down on a bedpan. It ain't going to happen, people. I'm like, I'm totally capable to get up and walk. They're like, no, you're not moving. Do not move. Do not move. I'm like, the fuck? That part I remember vividly. I remember that piece very vividly. I was a little pain in the ass. Anyway, so luckily I had an advocate for me. She's actually a licensed clinical social worker. She has therapy and counseling, and she works in an ER. So that was very helpful to me. Thank God, right? Like this is this is one of the people that was by my side. So thank God, like I was given a human person that could at least help me. And that was I'm so, so, so grateful for that. That is just, so grateful for that. Because I'm very stubborn. I don't know if you know that. So it's a very traumatic experience because the guy's looking over me and he's saying, it's this big freaking surgeon face and like right over my face. And he's saying, how long have you had an aneurysm? I said, what? He says, your heart is in rough. He said, your aorta is in rough shape. And I'm like, what, my heart? And he said, your aorta. I'm like, okay. And he said, we need to do surgery. He says, if we don't do surgery now, you will die. He said, the surgery is risky. He said, you could die in surgery. You could have a stroke. There are lots of risks, he said. I said, well, you can fix it. And he's like, he said, well, that's what surgery is for or whatever. And I'm like, well, let's fix it. I said, fix it then. Let's fix it. And so I thought I was going to have this little surgery. I'm thinking like, laparoscopic. No. And I said, oh, okay. So do you just like put some, do a little cut here and there? And he says, no, I have to cut your chest open. I'm like, what? He says, like, cut your breastbone. Your sternum needs to be cut open. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, what? And so as soon as that conversation happened, I just was like, I'm like, okay, well, fix it. You need to fix it. We need to fix it because I'm not going to die. And so 30 minutes later, I was in surgery, but I had time to call. And you guys heard that conversation before. I've told you that. Make some phone calls and things. But it's all this, like, it's this really intense traumatic experience where you're living it, but you don't remember it. And then it comes back to you in pieces. There's pieces you start to remember. And last night I had remembering. I've been a little, oh, that's one of my kids. Just a minute. I'm working right now. Sorry, guys. When you got kids that live far away and they message you and they're like, hey, I need to talk to you. And you haven't talked to them for a while. You're like, oh, shit, what's that about? So I had an experience last night. I was standing here in the kitchen and I had been kind of feeling, I had a little bit of a rough, well, it's been a week. Today I have counseling again, therapy again, which is good. But my therapist was talking to me about anger and how I need to, like, she's like, I think you need to connect with anger, the feeling of anger, the emotion of anger. And I'm like, I was thinking about it related to my past experience. Hey, Patty, thanks for joining us in the chat. Appreciate you. Patty is one of my moderators. Thank you. I know I'm beating around the bush, you guys, but this is a hard conversation to have. But I want to tell you guys about it because I think it's important, especially in our community, especially as empaths, to talk real talk about stuff. And when emotions are coming, it's a good thing to have those discussions and open conversations about them. So last night, I had been trying the last couple of days to connect with this energy of anger. And it was really about the past. The last 2 years, I've had experiences in relationships where I felt like I was I didn't make very good choices that honored me and in my integrity. I'll say it that way. And I was hurt and hurting and in a lot of pain emotionally for like the last 2 years, for sure. And I did allude to and share earlier last week about depression, that I was in a major depression this time last year, like major depression, like clinical depression. And I went to the doctor finally at the end of February after my 50th birthday and got medication and help and more counseling and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's why I lost so much weight at that point, right? So the counselor was instructing me to maybe connect with my anger about that, because there's things you can't do anything about. Like, you can't do anything about other people's actions or behaviors. If other people hurt you or they say things that are really messed up and it hurts you and you feel like you deserve that hurt, or you feel like guilty in some way, it just makes it worse. And that's how I felt, right? Like, I lived with so much guilt and shame and this betrayal energy and this I'm betraying myself, like I'm abandoning myself. And I honestly, last year, I just thought, Psh, I didn't want to be in pain anymore. I just wanted the pain to be done. And that's when the depression set in and all that. And so I never really got angry. I got kind of sassy and snarky and a little, I can be a little mean and stuff to people when I feel hurt. I say mean things to get them away from me because I'm so hurt, right? Like, that's an empathic trick. Not a trick. It's just what we do, right? We protect ourselves by being mean to people because it pushes them away, or saying, I don't want to, or we just ignore them. We just go, I don't want anything to do with you. You're a fucking loser, or or we just ignore it or avoid it. We just pretend like it's not a problem. And then we just coexist and just ignore it, how much we're hurting, how much we're in pain, because we're so aware as empaths how much other people are hurting. We ignore how much we're hurting. We just can't. I couldn't deal with my own feelings of pain and shame and guilt and just this, like, I'm destroying my family. I'm the one that wants a divorce. I mean, all this stuff, right? And it's been hell, you guys. Fucking hell. And still, I'm like high functioning and I'm handling everything. And I still have my business and I go get 2 different jobs to try to pay my bills. And I'm doing all the things, right? And I'm handling life. But how am I handling it? By sacrificing myself, my feelings, my emotions, by stuffing them, by trying to do some of my spiritual stuff. Thank God I was in like a program that helped to support me last year. It was called Rosa Mystica, and it was like essential oils stuff, like really fabulous oils. And without that, I think I would have lost my freaking mind, because that gave me some healing, some monthly healing, some connection that I needed to have. And so thank God for that, because I needed that. So that probably saved my life, to be honest with you, honestly. Because like last year in October, when I was in Disney by myself, I just about was like, I'm not going home. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go someplace. I don't know what I'm going to do, because I was so devastated. I just felt so, it was supposed to be like the happiest time. I'm in the happiest place on earth last August. And I felt like crap. I felt so alone and sad. And I had moments of like remembering how good Disney felt to me. But then I had other moments where I could have cared less if I was there or not. I mean, I was so devoid of emotion and so low and sad and just felt devastated. I felt like I was just deteriorating. I think that was the beginning of the end for me, as far as this is too much, right? So then I'm doing all the things. I'm trying to make changes. I'm trying to make changes in my life. And doing the best I can. And so I go in October and I'm doing this thing. And then all of a sudden this health thing happens, right? And I'm in this trauma in this emergency room. And I'm looking at this guy's face in my face. And I'm thinking, okay, I couldn't even, like, I don't know if I was in shock or denial, but I couldn't comprehend actually dying. Like, what? I'm like, wait, I've kind of wanted this for a while. Like, I wanted the pain to stop. And but I'm finally at a place where I'm like starting to kind of handle life and handle things, and I'm living in the townhouse, and I'm doing things. I'm trying to like progress. I have this great job that I really enjoy. It's part-time, but it helps supplement my intuitive work, my psychic work, because I need to make sure I can pay the bills. I mean, I have like kids, and I have kids in college, and I have kids with cars, and I have kids with that need help too, and I need help. And so I doing the best I can, right? I'm like kind of okay. I'm in a place where I'm kind of okay right now. I'm kind of okay. I'm doing my healing work. I'm doing my freaking work. I've been doing my fucking work. I've been doing the work. I've been doing my work. But this anger piece, I just I can't connect to. And I've been told by a couple different people about the trauma that I experienced is going to come to me, and I'm going to feel it. And it started last night. So and I think it's easier for me to get sad than it is to get angry, or maybe when I get angry, I cry. So that might happen. I don't actually have tissue. Oh yeah, I do have tissue. I got a tissue in my pocket. I thought I put a tissue in my pocket. I was standing in the kitchen here, and I was triggered earlier in the day. I had a client that I don't talk to very often, just every once in a while you have clients that you only talk to every once in a while, and they're not like consistent clients, like maybe once a year. I've only talked to her, I think 2 or 3 times total in like a couple of years. But she emailed me and asked me for her money back from our session in October. And I hadn't rescheduled with her yet. I've been going down the list, right? And I've been rescheduling with people, and I just hadn't gotten to her yet. And so I gave her money back. I was like, what? Okay, you don't want to reschedule? Okay. So I was like, wait, what? And it just it threw me. I was like, wait, what? Whoa, okay. And then I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's a timing thing. And I'm trying to be like, okay, it's fine. It's not personal. It's just a thing. It's the holidays. She's a single mom. Maybe she just needs the money. I totally can get that. I totally can understand needing the money right now. So I'm like, okay. So I gave her her money back. And then in her follow-up email, she said that she scheduled with somebody else is going to meet with them in a week or 2 or something like that. I'm like, okay. So I felt really, I guess I probably shouldn't talk about that, should I, online, like with my clients and stuff. It hurt. Because it's not like I had the flu or anything. Okay. It's like I almost died. So I was hurt. And then I started to get angry. So I'm like, ooh, maybe this is happening so that I can feel anger. Because then what comes with anger is like feeling betrayed, feeling like you're being used, feeling like you don't really matter, right? Like all those things tie into anger for me, at least anyway. That's what they tie into. It's like you're not good enough, or you can't give me what I want, so I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to go with somebody else. It's just like somebody breaks up with you because they're going to be with somebody else because they're right there and you're not there. So they're going to break up with you because there's somebody else there instead or something. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing, right? Apply it to whatever you want to apply it to, right? So I started to feel a little angry. And then later in the day, I'm standing here in the kitchen and I'm starting to feel back to that emergency room piece. And there's a few things I remember from the operating room. And I remember people talking. I remember the surgeons arguing about whether or not to helicopter me to Boston when we were initially in the CT scan place area, the ER. And then I remember in the operating room, extra people coming in, like they were arriving, like they were coming. They called the surgeons to come because it was a really long surgery and it was very complicated and they needed the experts. So they called other people in to help. Like 10 inches of my aorta was replaced. So that's a big, huge deal. Plus I had a valve replacement, which I found out is bovine, by the way. Moo. Is that funny? At least it's natural, you guys. Come on. So I'm part cow. I don't know how I feel about that. That's okay. It's fine. I should get a cow tattoo now. But I'm super avoiding this because it's hard to talk about. So I'm standing here and I don't even remember how it came up. But I just said, I feel so guilty. I feel so bad. Because, and I hadn't shared this directly, and like my husband was in the kitchen, he was making cookies, and I hadn't shared this with him. The feelings. I said, I feel so bad. I don't feel angry. I feel bad, like guilty, because I said, I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. I know I was in the in-between place. I remember it, you guys. I remember having the choices 3 times. I had choices. 2 very prominent ones I remember very specifically. I think one was before I got there, maybe in the ambulance, but I know there was one that happened beforehand and maybe even earlier in the week, some kind of negotiation between my spirit guides and my higher self, but then the other 2 higher. So I was on a bypass machine, so my heart wasn't beating itself. And like I was trying to explain last night that I said, it was out of my body. Like I said, I wasn't alive. Like I wasn't alive. Like I know that like there's machines breathing me and there's machines pumping my heart. And like I said, I wasn't alive. Like and I didn't want to come back. And I feel bad about that because I have people that love me and family. I need another tissue. Just I have people that love me. And in fact, this week, I had a couple of clients, and 2 of the 3 clients that I had, people cried and were emotional and said, I don't know what I would have done without you, or I'm just so glad you're alive. I'm so happy you're alive. And it's not that I don't appreciate my life. I do. I have so much gratitude for being alive, and it plays into you guys, into Above Life channel, and how important this work is for me. But I feel bad. I do feel guilty that I didn't want to come back. And it was because for the first time in like 2 years, I didn't feel pain in my heart. My heart had been hurting for so long. It was hurting for so long. Well, I've been on this journey, and since it feels like 2 years. I'm just going to say 2 years. It's probably been a year and a half or something like that. Where I've been really trying to be myself and let myself be me and be honest with people in my life, in my relationships and my marriage about what I want and how I want to express myself and who I am and how that changes everything for my family and the dynamics of like me and my relationship and stuff. And so, for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel pain. In my heart, I felt so much guilt and pain in my heart. For coming out and trying to be me, for being a queer woman and for sharing that with people that I love. And most people are very, very supportive, but it still hurts, right? Because it means things change. And so for the first time in a really long time, I didn't feel pain when I was in that in-between space. My heart felt peaceful. And honestly, that felt so good to not have that pain. And yeah, I wasn't alive. But my dad would not come near me. He stayed on the other side of this glass thing. And I think it's because if I would have met him or been with him, I wouldn't have. I would have stayed on that side. And it wasn't really what I wanted. I didn't really want to die. I just wanted to not feel pain. And so I feel like I was gifted that opportunity during that in-between state while I was there in that afterlife space, in that in-between space, to have relief from my emotional pain in my heart and know what that feels like and that I deserve that relief. I deserve that peace in my heart. And so I deserve to live my life like that with peace in my heart. Because the truth is I am not a bad person. Like I'm a really good person. And I know that. And I do love myself. This isn't about me not loving myself, you guys. It's not about that. I do love myself. I think I'm really fucking awesome. And I'm really sweet. And I'm genuine and I'm caring. But I'm so, so vulnerable and so unbelievably hypersensitively psychic that I was taking on the pain of everybody else around me that was so sad that I was different. And I couldn't die like that. I couldn't die just giving up on me. Years ago, when I came out as a psychic person, it was really hard. And then 2 years after that, my marriage ended. My first marriage ended. And he told people I was crazy, And I was scared at that time because I thought I would lose my kids because I was psychic. And I came out as a psychic person. I didn't. Not at all. But I was scared, And so now I'm at this place where I'm scared that when I was in that place that to not fully live my life, to just walk away and be done with it. Discovering something new about myself that's beautiful and loving and genuine, and to not be a voice or not live my life in love and fullness and expression would be tragic. I couldn't die. I couldn't leave. I had to be here. I had to come back. So I came back. And the physical pain is nothing. The last weeks of physical body pain is nothing compared to the emotional pain that I have been in. It's nothing, nothing compared to that. And I can't imagine how many people go through that kind of pain emotionally, especially all of us here empathic. I know you guys have been through so many things: heartache, heartbreak, deaths, loss of children, um, traumatic abuse scenarios, all sorts of stuff that you're healing from. I know that we might have different stories, but we all understand this heart place and how incredibly painful the emotional pain is, and the psychic, intuitive, energetic pain of the empath is profound. So I came back, and now I'm building up my physical strength. I'm doing really well. I mean, like I said, I get tired and I get sore, and I overdid it yesterday, and so my shoulder's hurting me, and all sorts of weird stuff happens when you have a sternomectomy, where when they cut your sternum open. I know that sounds so gross, but it's just the reality, you guys. I just talk about it like it's no big deal because it's just what happened. It's just factual. And so weird stuff happens to other parts of your body, especially when you're under like for 9 hours or whatever. Like all sorts of weird stuff happens. It's just freaking believable. And then I have all these holes like in my body that are healing and all that. And I know that there is a renewed purpose and reason for my being here. And in part, my work here with you on Above Life channel. It just so happens Above Life channel really fits now, doesn't it? Been there. Wouldn't recommend it until you're really ready. Okay. Until there's no other option. Until your body's decayed and ready for that final rest, you know. Mine wasn't. Not quite. I couldn't leave without passing along this incredible. I have so much wisdom. It's been almost 20 years that I've been a psychic. Do you know that? It's been so long. I've been through so much: divorces, miscarriages, blended families, coming out as a psychic, coming out as a queer woman, different jobs, just ex-husbands that are practically, that almost died twice from cancer. And I mean, just all sorts of stuff, you guys. There's so much. I've been through human life experience, but I also have this psychic perspective. I have so many gifts. God damn it. I have so many psychic gifts. I am really psychic. Like, I have psychic friends that are like, God, you're so psychic. And since this has happened, like my really good psychic friend, she said, I have two really, really good, three actually, really, really, really good psychic friends. But one of them, she's like, you're on fire. She's like, wow, you're really, wow. And she's like, works as a full-time psychic, has her own temple space. She's like all up in that, major leader person, whatever, awesome person. She's like, wow, you're on fire. I said, I know, because it's just wisdom. I just know now. And I said, and I'm so committed to sharing what I know. Like, I know so much, and I haven't passed it along. Like, I haven't told people. I haven't mentored people. I don't have any apprentices or anything. I haven't taught. I've stayed away from teaching because it seems like everybody and their mothers, brothers, cousins, like, buys a card deck and then they're a teacher. They're a spiritual teacher all of a sudden after like 2 days, I mean, it's just like, it's buzzwords, and it's just like saturated marketing and all that stuff. And I'm like, for me, this is my life. Like, this is what I'm made for. And I'm like, I got to talk. I mean, I talk here, but like, I really got to tell you guys all this stuff about everything. Like, you name it, I probably Oh God, that sounds so ego. But I know a lot of psychic stuff. A lot. And I also know, this is the best part, how to weave it in to be a person. And sometimes the psychic stuff messes with your person, like messes with your trying to be a human. And sometimes your human stuff messes with your trying to be intuitive and live psychically. But guess what? There's not one part of you or the other. There's both parts of you, and you got to bring them together. And so that's what I'm really good at, is helping you do that. Bring the two together, be your full self, but you have to honor both parts. Be a really good person by using your psychic gifts and intuition, by using the healing that's accessible to you, whether it be like astral star energy, whether you're Palladian, Arcturian, or from Sirius, whether you're an astrologer person, whether you do hands-on healing work, whether you do pranic healing or Reiki or heart healing or heart math, or whether you do singing bowls or yoga or meditations or law of attraction stuff or the elements, whether you do Wiccan stuff or Celtic stuff, or whether you do divine feminine, or you're in a priestess temple, or you do oils, or you do smudging, or you have sacred practices and rituals that you follow and you do that fit for you, that you work with all the elements for, or you do stuff on the full moon and the new moon, or whether you speak light language, or whether you work with sacred geometry, or whether you work with crystals or rocks, or whether what did I miss? Clearing, multidimensional healing. I mean, I don't care what platform you work on, what you call it, what technique you use. Let's integrate it. Okay. So let's help you be a better person by not being better for other people, but being better for yourself, like feeling better. It's time to feel better. It's time to incorporate and integrate everything that you have access to. It's time to stop feeling like shit and start handling your shit. And so in 2024, that's what we're going to work on, you and I, because I am here and I'm not going to fuck around. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. And if you just want like a drive-by, drive-through psychic reading, go to somebody else. Okay. I will, by the way, offer services like psychic readings, but I'm going to charge more for them. And that's what they're going to be. There's not going to be any of this, yeah, I want you to coach me intuitively. And really all I want is you to tell me what my team says and give me answers to stuff and tell me what to do. No, we are done with that. That is old school. I am not going to run a business like that, because that is taking advantage of you. That is taking your fucking money. No, we're going to do this with integrity, you and I. We are. And Above Life Channel, we are going to still channel celebrities, because that's fun. Okay. I was by the Kennedys, you guys. I was by the Kennedys in Hyannis. And I have a little sticker that says Hyannis, which I should give away to somebody. Somebody might want that, right? I was right there, you guys, right there. It was so cool. So of course I'm going to channel celebrities. Why? Because it's fun and it's inspiring. And when we do intuitive work and healing work, it doesn't have to be all deep and serious, because life isn't always deep and serious. And I'm so tired of us just focusing on the shadows, focusing on the bad stuff and the heavy stuff. And then other people telling us, other spiritual teachers telling us, well, we need to deal with our shadows because that's why the world is falling apart. I'm like, no, maybe the world is falling apart because we're focusing on the shadows. We have to have a balance. We got a balance. And so for you guys, for me, that's both helping you be people so you feel good and you feel better, and using all your intuition stuff that you have access to. And that's what coaching is about, coaching the person, the brain, to understand the intuitive stuff and to understand how energy works and to understand how intuition works and to understand different tools you can use, like card decks. You can use card decks. Of course you can. It doesn't have to be tarot. It can be if you're really into that, if you're drawn to to totem animals and use a tarot deck that has totem animals on it, or use some special deck that has a lineage that just lights you up. Yes, of course, do that. That's awesome. Or things like tools like journals, writing, not for answers, but maybe to clear, to process, to release, that kind of stuff, you guys. That's exactly what we need. Or maybe crystals or rocks or things like that. Like these are rose quartz. These are for my friend in Texas. She doesn't know that she's getting these yet unless she's watching my video, which she probably isn't. She might be actually. Hey, if you are, sorry, I'm not going to send these to you in time for Christmas. You're going to get them in January. But these are from a friend of mine too, Diane, if you guys are in New Hampshire, Dover, New Hampshire, go to the Oasis shop. It's called Earth Harmony Wellness. And if you're in Dover, New Hampshire, she does in-person temple work, divine feminine work. Beautiful Diane. She's somebody I very much trust. Diane Chalafor, I really trust her. But she has a shop and all sorts of goodies, supplies that you can use for your intuitive work, for your healing journey, for just inspirational connections. She's got card decks and incense and all that. Again, the Oasis shop in Dover, New Hampshire, and it's Earth Harmony Wellness. And you can order stuff from her on, like, you can call her and say, hey, do you have rose quartz? Or hey, do you have such and such incense? And she'll ship to you as well. In the summer, she has rock shows too. But I got these from her on my recent trip. And I have some other stuff here, which I'm not going to show you because I think if my friend from Texas is watching, she's going to see them and I don't want to show her the rest of them. But I also sent you some stuff too, which is really freaking awesome. So you'll get that too. So anyway, I want to say hello to the chat. Hi, Donna. Nice to see you. Hi, Irene. Thanks, Patty. Hey, Deja. Nice to see you. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. 2 different Lisas in the chat that I see. Nice to see you. I'm also going to be, I want you guys to know too, just as a heads up that, so I'm working with a friend of mine who also does virtual assistant work. Thank God she's my friend. So I got it in. But she's a virtual assistant. Plus she does, marketing, like, email marketing, internet marketing, stuff like that. Web design, stuff like that. She's freaking amazing. And she's in Wisconsin actually. And so I see her in person. We're friends. She's also a yogi. Anyway, so she has been helping me every week with getting my shit together, organizing my stuff since my brain isn't working so well, and I got a lot of stuff on my plate. But she and I have been talking about the things I'm going to offer for next year and how I'm going to frame my work and with you guys. So there are going to be things at different price points to help you access. Right now, the most upcoming one is in December on the 19th to celebrate that solstice the next day. We're going to do inspiring psychic experience. I'm going to do it online. It'll probably be about 90 minutes long. It's at least an hour. It'll probably be about 90 minutes. And we'll do some spiritual stuff, and I will do psychic readings in that group. That's fun. It's fun to do psychic readings as a group, like have it be a thing. It's fun. That's when it's fun. That's really when it gets fun, and that's not so deep and serious. It's like, oh, it can be fun. And so you can join that. It's only $40 to be in that group. And then you get a chance. It depends on how many people there are. Not everybody gets to ask questions, but I try to get to everyone if I can, if I have time, but I don't overdo it. So but it's a great experience. It's fun. It's only $40. I mean, that's cheap, right? That's super affordable. A great way to connect. So I'm doing that in December, and I'm going to try to keep doing that into the new year. But there's going to be other things too that I'll be doing that will be at different price points. So you guys will be able to jump into that as well. I'm also doing some mentoring. I have one person who's actually in my chat right now, who is going to be somebody that I am kind of taken in and working with. Gotta put some investment into that next generation. She's a college student, and working with her to help give back. And so that'll be awesome. And yeah, I got some stuff that I want to do and share with you guys. And so, yeah, I'm going to be working on ways that we can connect, and free ways we can connect too. So like, I'm working on an email situation right now. so that I can connect with you once a month and give you some resources and stuff that you just get when you're on the email list, just so you can have it if you want that. If that's your thing and you want to feel connected, we can do that. Just trying to figure out different ways to connect. Plus, I just started TikTok today on Above Life channel on TikTok. I have one for me, also for my experience, my coming out experience and stuff. I have one for that as well. But yeah, I have one Above Life channel on TikTok. So you need to follow that if you're on TikTok. Okay. So, all right. So that's my first part of my story. There's other things that are coming up and coming through, and that I'm going to be working on as they do. And so that guilt energy, the sadness for feeling bad that I didn't want to come back because that pain was so nice to not have. And so to maybe answer a question, like I would ask me this, I'd be like, hey, so do you feel the pain again? Well, I'm right on that tipping point where I'm feeling like, because I'm physically feeling better, because the physical pain kind of took over for a while and I didn't feel any emotional pain. Like I even talked to some people that I like would make me angry before, and there's nothing. There's like flat line, nothing. So I was like, oh, the physical pain is more present, right? Well, now the emotional pain is starting to bubble up. I had an experience last week where I was like, and then an experience just the last couple of days about the client thing with the refund and stuff. And I'm like, so that kind of made me a little, and it didn't make me upset at first. It made me upset when I found out that they went to somebody else. I was like, what? But then I'm like, well, it must be, that's meant to be. Because they don't want to coach anyway. They are more interested in like Prince and like celebrity, more stuff. They're a nice person too, by the way. I mean, I'm not like, I don't hate them or anything like that. I mean, it's just a timing thing maybe, and a fit. And maybe I'm just not a fit now. That might be what it is. But it did trigger some anger, which did help me. So that's kind of good. You know what I'm saying? That's good. It's not bad. So, all right. So thank you so much for being here. I know we've talked a long time and I didn't expect that. Hey, Mackie, nice to see you. Lola, nice to see you. Let me just say hello to hi, Michigan. Hi. Your husband had a triple bypass. Ooh, triple bypass. That's tricky. Yeah. He probably had the sternum thing too, huh? Oh, nice. Somebody just called me Brighton. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Hey. Thanks, SR. Appreciate you. Thank you for calling me Brighton. I appreciate that. I have 2 names that I use right now, you guys. My birth name is Bridgette, and the chosen name I've been using is Brighton. Darrell, nice to see you. Dione, hello. Gail, haven't seen you forever, girl. Oh my God. Shout out to that daddy in heaven. My unfinished business. That's right. I need to teach now. I need to tell everybody what I know. Hey, MJ, nice to see you, my Prince friend. Hi, Gracie. Nice to see you. You guys are awesome. Hey, Queen. Hi, Mike. Did I say hi to Mike? Anna. I think I said hello to everybody. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know the holiday season is a bitch sometimes, and I'm here for you. We're here together. And I'm going to show up as much as I can. So the next couple of days, like tomorrow, I'm going to be at the townhouse, and I have, what do I have? I think I have a client too. I can't remember if it's tomorrow or the next day. And then I have I have some stuff the next 2 days, but if I can get online, I will, because I want to connect. And then I want to use tools and show you guys how to use tools like card decks, easy peasy lemon squeezy, not complicated. So we're going to start having some conversations like that. But I'm also going to teach people that want to be, I'm going to teach, educate, and share what I know. I'm going to share what I know, like not maybe some knowledge sessions or some wisdom circles, something like that, where people can opt into that. That's what I want to do. I don't want to just assume everybody wants to know stuff, because they don't. Sometimes they're just going to be here. You're just going to be here for the celebrity channeling, which I will do at least once a month, I think, is what I'm going to try to keep up on. So you can still get that. Plus, there's tons of content. There's so many playlists. Watch them. They're good. And then we'll do some other stuff too. Plus, I still got to do Sunday morning coffee. I love that. I love my podcast on Sundays. Yesterday, I did not do it. Yesterday, Monday, it is. Yesterday, I didn't do it because I just wasn't having a grand day. Yesterday I was really feeling heavy energy, and I just couldn't bring myself to log on and take a shower and all that stuff. So I just couldn't do it. So I give myself permission to not show up if I can't, I'm going to try, but if I can't, I can't, you guys. I'm working on it. All right, my dears, thank you so much for being here. I hope I've inspired your spirit and filled you with some hope today, encouraged you at least to live your life as I am here living mine. It's your life after all. This is yours. This one is yours. And okay, I get it if your empathic heart is hurting. I get it. Okay. Let's soften some of that self-doubt and that self-criticism and that self-sabotage. Let's not be so mean. Let's just breathe for a moment. Maybe go stand outside and get some fresh air. Watch those crows out in those trees. Feel some kind of inspiration from something simple and beautiful and peaceful. Just find it in a moment. That's all it's about, those little moments, moment to moment to moment to moment, and breathe. That's one really important thing I learned in the hospital was breathe, because they always said, like when they were trying to take out like my mainline thing from the, the thing that monitors the heart or whatever, that was, I think it was on this side or this side. I can't remember what side I was on. I should remember, because there's probably a big old hole or there's probably a big old mark on it. I think it's on this side. Oh yeah, it's over here. Oh yeah, it's right here. I can feel it. It was really bruised for a long time, and now it's just like a bump there. But they would say, take a breath in. They're like, okay, exhale. And as I exhaled, that's when they would pull it out, or that's when they would do something like with the tubes in my belly, the drain tubes that went to my blood box. They said, okay, take a breath in. All right, exhale out. And then when you're focusing on that, you're feeling the sensation of your body moving, but you're not feeling them clip that little stitch and pull the stitch out. They're not, it's definitely a thing. The breath does work. Definitely does, you guys. Mm-hmm. And do you remember that I said, I'm not going to do celebrity channeling for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or the holiday season right now. For December, I'm not going to do it, but in January, I will. So I'll do personal messaging again, like I did last year and the year before, remember, because I know you guys love that. I am going to offer it. I promised you I would. I am going to do it, but it's not going to be till January. So it'll be a new year thing, and it'll give you some inspiration when you're starting to feel bummed out because it's January. We'll do it then, okay? So I promise there'll be some of that. Okay, I don't know how many I'm going to be able to do this year. I know sometimes I'm like a machine. I can do a lot. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm getting, I'm exercising. I'm building up my endurance. So we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I just absolutely look forward to connecting with you. I love it. I love this. I love Above Life channel. And it turns out that it really does apply to this next stage of my life, doesn't it? Above Life. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have something funny to tell you. I'm going to end on this. Okay. I promise. So it's a Disney reference. So I said for a long time, right after my surgery and up until like this last week, I said I felt like Buzz Lightyear because I could literally only turn like in one whole chunk. Like I couldn't move my arms like above my head. I'm technically until 12 weeks not supposed to put them both above my head, but I can because it feels fine. It feels totally fine to do that for me. So I can do that. I can't lift though, like not 10 pounds yet, but I used to feel like Buzz Lightyear because I could literally move like a big chunk, like this whole body, this whole big shieldy part of my body felt like that. And then I felt like there's just this little connection between my upper part of my body and my hips. You know what I mean? That's how it felt, like Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond. Yeah, maybe that should be our new tagline. Anyway, funny. I still have not solved the mystery of who sent me the big Disney thing. Somebody sent me a huge, huge Disney thing, and I want to know who it was. Like, that's not something I just let go of. Mm-mm. I need to figure it out. And if the person doesn't come forward, I'm going to have a psychic friend tell me who it is because they will be able to do that. I just want to be able to say thank you, guys. I don't have to call your name out or anything like that. Just personally email me, will you, or something. Just please. I just want to say thank you. I promise I won't make a big deal of it. I just really want to say thank you personally. If I could hug you, I would, but that was really sweet. That was very, very sweet. So, and obviously it's somebody that knows me for sure. So that was awesome. Hope we've inspired your spirit, filled you with some hope, encouraged you to live your life. This is your life after all, and you get to live it. Please live it. Don't wait. Love you guys.